May 31st, 2015, from the American Bank Center in Corpus Christi, Texas, was Elimination Chamber, and the WWE Intercontinental Championship was on the line in an Elimination Chamber match. And what a match this was, as we had King Barret, Dolph Ziggler, Ryback, R-Truth, Sheamus, and then the sixth competitor replacing Rusev, Mark Henry. So the world's strongest man replaced Rusev in this match. And so it went underway, and King Barret and Dolph Ziggler started the match off. Barret was beating up on Ziggler pretty good early on. R-Truth was the first to come out of a pod, the third man to enter the match. So R-Truth got in there. He kind of evened things up a little bit as he actually was going at it with Barret, and so Ziggler got a little bit of a breather. And then Mark Henry ended up entering the match, though, as Barret put Dolph Ziggler through Mark Henry's pod. So Dolph Ziggler inadvertently opens up Mark Henry's pod, and so now Mark Henry was just kind of interjected into the match, although the timer had not been counted down and his pod didn't officially open. So he's just in the match now. So then Ryback was the second official pod to open, but he was actually the fifth guy to enter the match. And Michael Cole had said earlier on in the match how the fifth position was actually the position that had won the most, although New Day, by winning from the sixth position, tied the fifth position, as those both had 5 winners. So 5 winners from the fifth and 5 winners from the sixth, although is Ryback the fifth or the fourth entrant officially, being that Mark Henry came into the match just from the pod breaking open. But anyway, alright, so at this point, R-Truth ended up eliminating King Barret when he hit him with the lie detector. And so now you had Mark Henry and R-Truth and Ryback and Dolph Ziggler in the ring. Mark Henry and R-Truth ended up locking up, and Ryback and Ziggler ended up fighting. So those 4 were going at it, and then Sheamus's pod would not open. So Sheamus was supposed to enter the match, but his pod wouldn't open, surprisingly. But I'll tell you what, I knew right then when his pod wouldn't open, I'm like, Sheamus somehow, he rigged it to where his pod wouldn't open. And that is what it ended up being, is we would end up seeing a few moments later that Sheamus had actually put his Celtic cross in the way, in the hinge, so that the door wouldn't open, at least it would appear that way. Although he was sitting there pretending with the referee like he was struggling to get the door open, but he was just doing it to buy some time because Sheamus is a cheater. So his pod went open. Ryback ended up eliminating R-Truth via the shell shock, and Ryback ended up doing his best Cesaro impersonation. As he said, anything Cesaro can do, I can do better, as he lifted up Dolph Ziggler above his head in the vertical suplex position, straight high in the sky, for what seemed like a lifetime. I mean, he had him out there. I didn't count, but man, it seemed like it was like 30 seconds or really like a minute or something, like a minute, literally. I was like, oh my goodness, he's just holding him up there forever, as Ryback has quite the impressive strength, as he is a beast. So Ryback, you know, he was looking pretty impressive. During the whole match, he was very impressive, and Ryback was looking for the meat hook on Dolph Ziggler, but he ended up getting caught with the super kick. And then Sheamus finally opened the pod. As I said, you saw that the Celtic cross was there in the hinge. He ended up taking the cross out the hinge, opening the door. So now Sheamus came in. He ended up smashing Dolph Ziggler into his pod, and then he ended up sending Ryback over the top rope onto the steel chamber surface. So Ryback, he was taking some tough bumps in this match for sure. Sheamus is a bully. I'll tell you what, he's such a bully that he actually was trying to bully the world's strongest man. That's right, he was trying to bully Mark Henry. Can you believe this? It's like, geez, the freaking gall on Sheamus. He is one crazy son of a gun. So he's sitting there trying to bully Mark Henry. Mark Henry then went for the world's strongest slam, but Sheamus got out of it, and then Henry ended up hitting him with kind of like a double axe handle, and then he did a big, huge body splash, the world's biggest body splash, but Sheamus somehow kicked out of that, and then he ended up catching Mark Henry with the pro kick, and it was 1, 2, 3, world's strongest man was eliminated as he got bullied by Sheamus. And Sheamus now, after coming in this match late, was just taking people out, as Sheamus Then ended up going after Ryback, and he smashed Ryback's face into the steel chain outside of the chamber, and then he went after Dolph Ziggler. So he was going after Dolph Ziggler, beating the crap out of him for a little while. Dolph Ziggler did turn things around for a moment as he hit Sheamus with a vicious DDT after Sheamus went shoulder first into the ring post in the corner. But Sheamus ended up kicking out of that crazy DDT that Dolph Ziggler does where he jumps way up high in the sky. It's like a jumping DDT. It's nuts. So then Ryback ended up coming in and actually attacking Ziggler, but he got super kicked by Dolph Ziggler. Then Sheamus, he went for a bro kick. He missed it. Ziggler then hit Sheamus with the Famouser. Sheamus went down to one knee, but he didn't even go down on the mat. He didn't get pinned. Sheamus bro kicked Dolph Ziggler, and 1, 2, 3, Sheamus eliminates Dolph Ziggler. So Dolph Ziggler was eliminated from this match. So I says Sheamus just comes in and starts eliminating people. So now it was just the two men, Sheamus and Ryback, and one of them would be the Intercontinental Champion. We saw, you know, Daniel Bryan had been out watching the match the entire time, sitting next to his Intercontinental Championship belt that he had vacated that set up this match. So they were mixing it up in the ring, these two big brutes, Sheamus and Ryback, just trading back blows back and forth. And then Sheamus ended up going to the pod trying to get his Celtic Cross pendant. Who knows what he was going to try to do. That was going to stab Ryback or something. But Ryback came up behind him. Sheamus then delivered white noise to Ryback on the steel grate. Oh my God, what a bump that was. That was insane. Ryback, I'll tell you what, he really took some punishment in this match. Then moments later, Sheamus did an insane rolling senton to Ryback. Like, oh my God, he put Ryback all his weight. It was just a crazy move. Even like the whole thing, it was insane. Like Sheamus could have broke his neck doing this move, and Ryback just went boom. I was like, oh my God. Like, if you really have ever done any kind of sports or any kind of wrestling at all, that was a crazy bump. Ryback is one tough son of a bitch, and he took that rolling senton from Sheamus, and now Sheamus was set up for the bro kick, but Ryback ducked it. He picked up Sheamus into like the powerbomb position. He slammed Sheamus into the steel chain of the outside of the chamber, and then he powerbombed him into the ring, and then Ryback picks him up, and he shell-shocks Sheamus, and 1, 2, 3, the big guy wins! The big guy wins! Ryback wins his first title at WWE, the Intercontinental Championship at Elimination Chamber, as history is made yet again during this evening. So Ryback with a big win, an impressive win, a big win, as I said, for the big guy. Daniel Bryan ended up coming in the ring, and Daniel Bryan said, you know, I think you earned this. He said, you guys think he earned this? Everybody was going crazy for Ryback. It was nuts. He definitely did earn it. I'll tell you what, if you saw this match, you definitely have to believe that Ryback deserves to be the Intercontinental Champion for sure. I mean, this guy put on a hell of a match, and he took one hell of a beating from Sheamus, and he put out one hell of a beating on Sheamus as he ended up getting the win. It was crazy. It was awesome. This is a match I would definitely watch again and again. It definitely lived up to all expectations. And I'll tell you what, it lived up to the fact it was an Elimination Chamber match. Like, even in what people call the PG era, this match was awesome. Might not have been, like, all bloody or whatever, but it was crazy with some insane bumps. It did look like Dolph Ziggler was bleeding under his nose. I don't know if maybe he's been listening to too much Talking Shop, but, or maybe it was just the orange hair dye from Sheamus. I think that's actually what it was. It was Sheamus's orange hair dye that ended up on, you know, Dolph Ziggler's, like, upper lip. Maybe he'd been brown-nosing him a little bit, you know? Maybe when he kissed his arse. But anyway, Ryback gets the win. It was pretty awesome. Daniel Bryan, when he gave over the belt to Ryback, and then Ryback said, you know what? Not only are you an inspiration to these people, you're an inspiration to the big guy. And he gave him the belt. I had goosebumps. I got goosebumps. It's crazy, right? It's insane, but I would never have thought that would have happened, but I was like, man, I got goosebumps watching Ryback win this match. That was insane. What a performance. It was awesome. Ryback wins. Let me know, though, what you think in the comment section below. Definitely interested to read your thoughts and opinions. What do you think about this match? I thought it was awesome. I thought it was amazing. But let me know what you think. Do you think it was awesome that Ryback won, or maybe you wanted somebody else to win? Let me know either way. Definitely interested to read your thoughts and opinions. Thank you very much for listening. It is appreciated.